Good evening, Jackie. Happy wintry Tuesday evening.
Thank you very much. Kind of wintry. I'm up here in Yamba. It was a little bit cloudy, but it's a different kind of winter than what I'm used to living south of Sydney before this. So yeah, pretty happy with where I am.
Yes, well, that move up the coast and then further up and then further up. It's
Yeah, yeah, it's
something.
gorgeous. And Gowrie is just such a beautiful spot. And I remember when we first came up here looking, and I went out there to the point on Gowrie, and I sat there and meditated. It's the first time I've actually felt like this is where I belong.
Oh,
This is where I need to be.
oh. Isn't that a delicious feeling when you hit that
Yeah,
moment and you go,
yes,
I can
absolutely.
I can commit to this.
Mm,
Well, I'm just so excited because a dowsing and the whole concept of vibration and the whole concept of frequency, all of this, like moving from the position that we've held for so long with sole advisor of evidence-based medicine and moving
mhm,
into deep reverence for the unseen is kind
mhm,
of held in all those words, in all those practices. And everywhere I look, as we were just saying, and I'm sure it's true for both of you as well, everywhere I look, people are talking about moving into colors, different resonances, different
mhm,
light fractals, etc., etc. And I just
mhm,
thought one of the quotes that you included in your ebook, Dowsing Vibrations, was just so true. You wrote a little quote from Everett Irion. You'll have to tell me who
mhm,
that is soon, but he or she said, vibration is not only a deep subject with far reaching implications, it's a vast one, encompassing mathematical areas such as geometry and optics, the aesthetics of color, such metaphysical considerations as the nature of time and space, and various philosophical and theological concepts. I
mhm.
just, I'm bringing that up as a first stop because for whatever reason, we live here in 2025 with a total, I guess we've been through decades and decades of a real demoting of people who understand esoteric energies, a really, really, it almost feels like a war, doesn't it, about anything that is unseen, against anything that's unseen. So I just love that you've put yourself out there and created these ebooks. And I want to say really clearly, it's an esoteric, amazing subject with so many parts to it. Mm.
Mhm. Absolutely, it has so many parts because everything is vibration, as it says in that quote. But you've got quotes from Einstein
Mm.
about vibrations. You know, Nikola Tesla talked about vibrations. I first, I guess, started to really expand my awareness or knowledge through reading Edgar Cayce, but also just through the practice of dowsing, which was something that was happening alongside everything else, more formalized studies and then, spiritual sort of interest. I remember reading back in the 1990s a book, and I'm not sure if I've mentioned in these books, on vibrational medicine by Dr. Richard Gerber, which is a bit of a seminal text these days. And he was talking about research that was happening in Russia in the 70s, where they were working with sound and the vibrations of sound. And I always remember that he said that they were using iron filings on top of a metal platform, and then the sound sort of vibrating through that. That the last note of Handel's Messiah created a five-pointed star.
In the
You
iron
know,
filings.
yeah, in the iron filings, yes, just amazing and different classical notes, predominantly or musical pieces, would create shapes that are found in nature.
Mm.
So they would be created through the vibration of sound, but shock music, rock music, it was just kind of, it didn't really create form the way other sort of notes and melodies and harmonies and different things. So that they've been doing research on these subjects for a long time now, and for me it was just, for whatever reason, I'm not a yes no dowser.
Mm.
It's just. not where my forte lies.
Mm.
But I was always fascinated with, this is my pendulum, but truly you can make a pendulum out of anything.
Is that a sapphire still?
No, that's an amethyst. That's a little amethyst one. And so I've got a couple of crystals here. If I pick up like a little crystal cluster, it
Mm.
will, first of all, just read it by, it sort of describes the size of it, and then it goes further to describe the sort of energy
Mm. Yeah.
that it's emitting. And with every piece that you pick up, and sometimes it becomes that strong, I have to try and get my elbow in and whack it.
Mm.
It's different for every piece.
Yeah.
And it's, how do you explain to someone, I'm not doing this?
Yes.
And it's only when you actually pick up a pendulum and you have a go for yourself that you truly understand that it is, I believe, um, your higher self.
Mm.
Somehow these unseen forces, your guides, your angels coming through, and um, somehow allowing you to make what is unseen seen,
Yeah. Yeah.
manifest, bringing it into being in a different way.
I think absolutely. And as you say, until you actually pick up a pendulum and play with one, you think everybody else is just joking.
Mm.
But as soon as you've done it, have you done it, Martine? Have you ever picked up a pendulum?
Yes, I'm the vice president of the Dowsing Society in Sydney, so
And
on a
I've
lot of
been there,
dowsing.
Martine, to the
Yes,
Dowsing Society in New South Wales back in the day. Oh, it was a while ago now, but I
yeah,
showed up to a
yeah,
few meetings.
Mm.
excellent, excellent. And I love you to come back and do a presentation for us on Zoom or whatever.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
that'd be great.
Mm.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I feel yeah, until you pick it up, you don't know. So
Mhm.
there's that. And there's that disbelief thing of surely you're doing this. But yes, you're doing that as part of everything else. So, you don't have
Mhm.
to have that pendulum. Your intuition can also lead you to conclusions or ways of seeing things.
Mhm.
We're entirely receptive. There's a beautiful piece that I will send you, Jackie, when we finish this, that's recently been done about the antenna of hair, like what
Mhm.
role hair performs in
Yes.
receiving vibration and helping us
Mhm.
understand,
Mhm.
which is just the same as if you happen to be an insect or a cow or
Yes,
whatever else,
yes.
or a
Yeah.
deer with your antlers, etc., etc. Like we are receptacles for divine
Mhm. That's
spirit,
right.
and
Yeah.
we're able to then take it on. So I love the simplicity of dowsing, the respect
Mhm.
to the unseen, that it
Mhm.
helps bring that into the manifest. And I love that you put it like that so people can see.
Yeah, that's right. It sort of makes it an observable
Mm.
force. For me, a couple of times I've used it for healing,
Mhm.
predominantly on myself. It's not what I do as a modality,
Mm.
but and I don't talk about it a lot, but it has been quite miraculous, I would say.
Mm.
When the need is there and the intent is strong, the
Mm.
emotion is there as well.
Mm.
Um, a couple of episodes of pain with my knee and my foot, and I prayed and I doused the area, and the pain was taken away.
Mm.
So, and this is coming from the work of Edgar Cayce, where he was saying that each organ or organ system has an optimal point of resonance.
Mm.
And when it's out of that resonance, it's when we can become susceptible to illness. And there's lots of ways that we can work with energy in this way. This is just the particular way that I use it. And I find that for me, dowsing, it amplifies my intuition in some way. A lot more seems to come to me and come through me when I'm dowsing, which is interesting. And that's sort of happened over the years.
Mm.
So you can actually douse the energies around the body with the intention of bringing them back into resonance and facilitate healing in that way.
Mm. I love that. And, like as Martine would know, working in Chinese medicine, then every single organ has its signature. It has its signature energy. It has its signature.
Exactly the same, yeah.
It has a way to be healed, So it's beautiful that you can tune in using that. And I really like that you've labeled that ebook Dowsing for Health and Wellness ebook. It's really important that people know that that can happen, because when the lay person thinks about dowsing as divination or finding water. I mean, that's what people think, but it goes a lot further, doesn't it?
It does. Or finding out the sex of a baby. I think that's a good one that people like to use it for. Or, finding things, yes or no. And honestly, I've dowsed, or I do dowse, my herbs. So I am a herbalist, and I do find that it adds another layer of intuitive awareness, or another dimension to my herbal prescribing. I come from a perspective of understanding what I'm doing with the herbs in the first place. But for any illness, any organ system, there could be 4 or 5 different herbs that are recommended specifically for that particular area of the body. And now that herbal prescribing or health has gone global, sort of herbal medicine that I've practiced or that I've studied is called physiomedicalism. So it comes through the European tradition.
Okay.
And then when the English went to the Americas, it was blended with Native American knowledge of herbal medicine. So it's just as long a tradition. It reaches back thousands of years, and we have that knowledge that's been brought through over those thousands of years. And then that's blended with our current scientific understanding of herbs. And then I bring together a bracket of herbs that are indicated for a particular person, and then I'll douse it. So I can go wider, you might say, where you might just choose 4 or 5 or 6 herbs for someone. I might start with 10 or 12 and then refine it through dowsing. And then I'll do a check. Am I missing something here? And it's amazing the information that will come through. And then when I go back to the person and ask questions, there is that validation, I guess, that comes with it.
Fabulous. Like one of the biggest principles, having massaged for 47 years, taught yoga for over 30, etc. The biggest principle is get out of the way. That brain, once like, of course, you have to have all of that kind of background, all that kind of training. But beyond a certain level, once you know that and you've integrated all that knowledge, then, it's simply a matter of move out of the way and allow the healing to come through. So
that's right.
I love that. But, I guess allopathic medicine is taught exactly the opposite, don't just do what you feel, like, oh, you just did that because you felt like it, It's that kind of thing, which really discounts the person who is the healer, or the person that is the person treating. Like, I feel like respect has to be for the actual practitioner, and always is. Like, if you find a good practitioner, it's a very personal thing in whatever field, be they a doctor, surgeon, ophthalmologist, herbalist, physiotherapist, whatever. That's
massage therapist, yoga teacher. You'd be surprised how many people I recommend yoga to for all sorts of different conditions. And I think it's something we need to look at a lot more. And I often suggest to people that they find someone to have a one-to-one yoga session with, particularly if they've got back pain. I'm pretty sure the research shows that yoga offers more physio, but we won't go down that road. The research is there. I read the paper.
The research is so there. They've got that many universities doing research in India on yoga. But, as I say, we're in a bit of a crossroads at the moment. I think they're just about to reintegrate 7 therapies into the private health funding in Australia. Thank
And
goodness. But what about the other 9 that they discounted?
yes, well, I'm hoping herbal medicine might be one of them. But as you were saying, it's important sometimes that we need to get out of the way, and that's definitely the case with dowsing, and you would know that, Martine, as well, is that the pendulum is so sensitive to our conscious mind as well. So our conscious mind will override
Mm,
what we're doing or what we're asking, which is why when I work with herbs, I always turn the bottles around,
yeah.
or I'll just go over and I'll just touch the tops of them and do a quick yes, no, because you get quite quick with it after a while. But yeah, I don't want my conscious interpretation or expectation sort of influencing the pendulum in any way.
Mm, mm. Yeah, what a fascinating art. It really, really is. And the other book that you sent over was all about vibration.
Mhm.
Tell me a little bit about that book, Dowsing Vibrations. Why you wrote that? Raising Vibrations, discover your unique vibratory signature. Why did you put pen
Uh,
to paper?
well, again, it comes through the work, and I think I say in the book that it comes from the work of Edgar Cayce.
Mm,
And I was introduced to his work when I was in my 30s.
mm,
He's not that well known in Australia, not as well as he is in the US, although he's starting to be all over YouTube. Um, I read a book by Linda Goodman, and in the back it had a reading list, and it said, read anything by Edgar Cayce. And I was just so drawn to his material. My first career was nursing. So he did 14,000 readings in a trance state in his lifetime, and all of them were taken down by a stenographer. So that's why there is this absolute wealth of information that people actually mine to write all of the different books that have been written. And I think it was about after 9,000 readings, he came up with, this is a karmic illness. And everybody in the room went, what did
mm.
he say?
Wow.
Because
Mm,
this was back in the 1920s, 30s or something.
okay.
But the way that he was able to track disease through the body was just, for someone who had studied the medical sciences, I was just blown away.
Wow.
Blown away. And we're only just now starting to get to his understanding of the body
Mm,
and
mm,
the interrelatedness of the organ systems. And,
mm,
so it was fascinating. His material's dense, it's not easy.
mm,
But he would talk about the vibrations of color,
mhm,
of crystal, of sound. He spoke about how we came in as souls um, for a particular reason, for a sojourn, and that we come in at a particular point of resonance.
mm, mm,
And our soul has chosen that because that's going to allow us to learn what it is and understand and grow in the way that we chose or saw best fit for this particular life experience.
mm,
So even looking at it from you know a karmic perspective,
mm,
we have soul gifts
mm,
that apparently, according to his work, as we attune and open the chakra systems or the spiritual centers, as he referred to them, we actually allow more of that knowledge from previous life experiences to flow through and be available to our consciousness or our conscious mind so that we can actually start to bring them into being in this life experience even more so. So the idea of this is to try to recreate that energetic feeling of wellness, you might say, that buzzy feeling that you get when you're walking down by the ocean or you're walking through the forest. How do we create that at home? How do we feel confident? How do we feel harmonious within? And what can we utilize? What environmental assists, or what is out there that we can utilize to keep us feeling tuned up in that way, but strong, also energetically strong, so that we are emitting a vibration intentionally with awareness, rather than being impacted by the vibrations and the energies of others all the time. So it's approaching it with a level of intention and awareness and choice, and understanding that we resonate better with certain colours, sounds, scents. So to be able to have the environment that you're sitting in, the walls, like we've just moved to Yamba and my partner's about to take the roof off this place, but the office that I had down south when I was working, my colours are like a mauvey violet and a very mauvey violet and a very pale sagey green, and I actually painted the walls in that in those colours, and it sounds strange, I know, but every time I was in that room, I was just in a state of peace, harmony. You know, I'm not going to say joy, but that, but a sense of well-being, as well. And so you burn the right oil. You wear the right colours on your body as well. And so once you, whatever it is that you can use, whatever skill, or how you, or in whatever way you can develop your intuition to start to ask these questions and have a clearer understanding of, no, actually, these are my colours. And be observant of how you feel when you're exposed to the energies of different sounds, rather than just being told by others.
Yes.
You know, this is what this sound is for, and this is what this colour is for, and this is what this crystal is for. How does it work with my energy? Because we are energetic beings, and our energies are mingling and tingling, as I say in the book, with all of the energies of other people.
Beautiful phrase, mingling and tingling. And one thing that you said there about what colors we wear, and I think in the book you said you might choose a different color for your underwear and what you wear on top. Wow, that's far gone. But why not? Yeah, I love it.
If you have the awareness of what you're wearing, it's impacting you psychologically. It's impacting you energetically. If we're talking about the energy of colors, it's against your body.
Yes, yeah.
And so it's supporting you in a particular way, in a more of an unconscious way.
It's beautiful, and it makes it so playful and rich, doesn't it? When you start to play around with colors and smells and all your senses, and it's conversations that you're having. It's like waking up all the capacity for senses, and at the crux of all those, you know, being able to smell, hear, touch, feel, comes your intuition. You know, that it's like waking that part up again too. So I love the concept of mingling and tingling.
Yes, and it's bringing mindfulness and mindful awareness into it as well, and being present with your own experience, rather than going along with the accepted knowledge, so to speak. One thing that Cayce said as well that I found really interesting was that certain colours were really great with people, and so will certain crystals. So, you know, there is perhaps the norm, and then there is individual differences. So why not have the ability to choose for yourself, or to understand for yourself and make choices around that? This is the right thing for me to read. You know, so I can pick up a book and I can ask the question, is this a useful book for me? Are there teachings in here that will really help me understand, open spiritually, whatever. So that's just gone to a pretty quick yes. But you can, this is one of my favorite practices, and we were talking about this before, and that is cleansing water, but also energizing. Energizing water. So if I say, I really want to energize this water with feelings of love. Did you see the energy pick up like immediately when I said love? I want love, I want peace, harmony.
And it's actually on the screen creating like a fairy energy, isn't it there, Martine? When you look at the screen and how that looks around there, it's really quite beautiful. And I think, I don't know if we've talked about that before, but Veda Austin, her work, which has, progressed from Masaru Emoto's work, has just...
I have, yes, I've seen her. Yeah.
My goodness, what an incredible one. I'm praying we'll be able to bring her to Anchor Grace. Please come when we do that over in Cambodia. I feel like, what she's managed to, I'm going to say the word prove. Let's just use prove after 11 years and I don't know how many, 50,000 freezings, to show that there's an energy that moves through everything and water holds that energy, and how we can interact with that energy, as you just did, is so beautiful. Being in rich conversation with everything is what I think dowsing or consideration of vibration gives us. And, the thing that I wanted to draw out of what you were just saying, and Edgar Cayce was definitely saying, I've got to get into his books. Thank you. I will next moment when I'm not reading everyone else's books this month.
Yeah, there's so much. There's so much good material out there now.
But I think both, his real thing was empowerment. It's like you have your own pathway, and you're here, and you're an absolute, you're a being, and you've come with such purpose. You all do. Everybody comes here with purpose. It's not an easy transition into this human form and a life through this human form and a departure from this human form. That's not easy. There's a real purpose for all of that. So I think once by your kind of work and echoing Edgar Cayce's work and bringing your own into it and giving people back that sense of understanding that they're exactly where they should be and getting to know themselves and as rich beings in this planet. Imagine, as Osho said, you cannot lead a happy people to war. You can't.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, beautiful.
Already.
Yes, it's definitely a really important time. And one of his quotes that I really loved was, and he said that we were heading into a time of enormous change, important change spiritually, and difficult change. And he would say, "You chose to be here at this time." And it's a really meaningful and important time to be here. So be grateful and give thanks daily that you are here to bear witness to all of this. Now, that's not to say it's going to be easy, but we're here to be part of it. And with all of the different stories and teachings and understandings that are being offered, it's, I see it as this enormous tapestry that we're all sort of threads of and creating this beautiful weave together. So it's not, because the teachings can be different and sometimes in opposition to each other. But that's okay. It's all part of this whole matrix of understanding. And I always use the heart, as the litmus test. Does it resonate with my heart? Does it lift me up? Does it open me? Does it encourage me? Does it show me a better path forward? Then that's all you really need to be concerned about. But he did talk a lot about ancient Egypt and Atlantis, and they do say that a lot of people that are drawn to his material are just old Atlanteans.
Atlanteans around again.
And a lot about Christ too, and in a very beautiful and poetic way, which I think is lovely.
Mm. I love that you hold all of this and you work for Ramsay Health. You're a psychologist, you have been a nurse, you're a herbalist, and then you bring in all of this very spiritual understanding. I love also that you learnt dowsing in the sapphire fields in Queensland, like of all the places to pick up dowsing.
Yeah.
You know.
Except it wasn't, it was copper rods that I was given up there. So, there are people on YouTube. Dowsing now is becoming a lot more popular, and they use a couple of copper rods, and that's great for asking questions and getting answers or finding things. But for working with energy the way I do, I think you need
Mm,
pendulum.
mm, mm.
But copper rods are great as well.
Yeah.
Have you used copper rods, Martine? You use
Yeah, I mean to do things in nature or finding saying or
yes,
something. But I
yeah,
use mainly the pendulum like you
yes,
because it
yeah,
can be very precise when we,
yeah,
tune
yeah.
into the person and to be very, sharp
Mm.
with that.
Mm.
So it's a wonderful way. And also you can use the body dowsing. Body is the
Yeah,
dowsing too.
that's right. And I mentioned that in the book as
Yeah.
well, that
I
you
mean,
can
we
use your
are,
body. It's an interesting thing. We stand in a shop, give me a yes or a no. You say,
yes.
people are like, you all right? Do you need you a chair?
Oh.
We try to do it very inconspicuously, but I don't mind. I just get my pendulum out and stand there. Everybody's looking at me. Oh. It's all good. So I think it is the time, Kate, for the blending of all of these different sciences, and metaphysics is simply describing beyond physics, beyond our current understanding of physics. There will always be metaphysics, there will always be physics, what we understand now and what we are yet to understand. That's all it's really
That one,
describing.
what we are yet to understand, because we
Mm,
don't understand everything. I mean, for starters,
mhm,
we're only here in our human body for up to 120 years, but we're only here for that time, so you
mhm,
can't possibly
mhm,
understand
mhm,
everything. And the arrogance of thinking that you might, or that some body of knowledge might have got there already, or whatever else,
mhm,
it's just
mhm.
tragic and takes the
Yep.
whole purpose for being here
Mhm.
away from us. We're here to learn.
Well,
Yeah.
that's right. And we're here to learn, but also to express what we have already learned.
Mm.
And I'm talking now from previous life experiences.
Mm.
So what we're talking about with opening and aligning the chakras and bringing through these soul gifts. So yes, karmic gifts. Not
Yeah.
all karma is difficult, but yeah, we're here to sort of sort stuff out. Particularly now, we need to clear these energies.
Mm.
But we're also here to bring forward gifts to assist us to help us do that.
Mm.
And I believe that we are drawn to specific teachers or teachings or practices
Mm.
because we've been exposed to that in previous life experiences.
Yeah.
So, every chance you are a yoga practitioner in a previous life or a body worker. Um,
Absolutely.
so we're honing our skills, so to speak, and we're utilizing them to help the whole. But as a psychologist, I work with a lot of different people at different stages in their lives, and they're going through difficult times, and they sometimes feel as if they're not able to, they're not achieving what they are capable of.
Mm.
Mm,
However, I feel that every single role we play, every single job we do is
Mm.
in the service of humanity.
Mm. Yes.
If it's approached in the right way, if you're a shoemaker, it's
Yes.
in
mhm.
the service of humanity. If you're a flower seller, it's in the service of humanity. If you're a body worker, it's in the service of humanity. Everything we do.
Absolutely. And therein is the higher purpose, to be of service. So, like it's
Mm.
constantly again getting out of your own way and trying to work out
Mhm,
what's holding you back from being more of service.
mhm,
That's the
mhm,
pathway, and it's a beautiful pathway.
mhm.
Really, really beautiful. And raising your vibration is a great way to go about it, why not have a bit of fun on the way and really work out what lifts you?
Yes.
As Joy was talking about yesterday, Martine. Joy Farrell was on talking about Happiness System, her book, which is like, yeah, work out what works for you. You know, how do you,
That's exactly right.
what makes you happy? How do you approach those questions? Yeah. So,
Well, this is kind of a set and forget approach that enhances and supports everything else that you're doing. So just quickly, when we're talking about raising vibrations and manifesting, what I've always believed is that, you know, we have three levels of consciousness: conscious, subconscious, superconscious mind, and we need them all sort of lined up and heading in the one direction. We can't sit and meditate for half an hour and then walk around with these self-defeating thoughts, or, you know, engage in a manifesting practice and then have unrealistic expectations of our relationships. You know, like it's just all a little bit. And maybe that's just coming from my work as a psychologist. And this is happening in this moment, but then over here, this is going on as well. And we're human and it's going to happen. It is. But to the extent that we can, we need to just have an awareness of what's in our conscious mind, as well as those practices that we're engaging in, you know, through meditation and other means to sort of lift and enhance our vibrations.
but I think, you know, I think my take on that is because, of course, we're all there's a lot of people that follow techniques but then don't seem to embody that. But it's like, again, it's that responsibility. We've been told that we don't have to take responsibility. So, you know, you get sick, you take the pill, or you go to the so-and-so and they'll fix you, and, you know, just to follow that kind of recipe and eat that, rather than doing what you were saying, which is actually feeling and understand, and therefore operating from an internal point of view rather than what's being told to us. So, you know, full compassion, because we've grown up in a very passive system. That's the intention, you know. Please be entertained. Please be told exactly how history has gone. Please be told exactly how this present moment is on the news. Please be told, you know, just so we've been brought up and encouraged to not take that responsibility. So it's hard to watch, I agree, as a healer, when somebody's making one noise and doing the other. But, you know, we hope that everything becomes integrated. And it's not easy, is it, to really be with your own health, like to take responsibility. It's a huge system. So how do we make that palatable for people and give them back the handlebars? Yeah.
Well, I think, you know, the spiritual, we've been given teachings over the years, but science is now showing that when we operate from that perspective of kindness, of compassion, of love, engaging in those practices, you know, we start producing dopamine and oxytocin if we get really good at it. And who doesn't want that love kind of chemistry running through your body, as opposed to adrenaline and cortisol? So again, it's being really present moment by moment. I do this, I feel this. I do this, I feel this, you know, as best we can. And I've got this beautiful sheet on the core skills of mindfulness, and one of the parts of it says, recovering from emotional hijackings sooner rather than later, and bringing our whole brain back online. I mean, that's just it in a nutshell. I think.
Yes, oh yes. Oh, so I just wanted to say that Nut joined us from Cambodia, but she's in an office with lots of people, so she's just listening in case you're wondering who Nut is. She's on our team over in Cambodia, so really appreciate her being here. Is there anything, Martine or Nut, that you would like to bring up with Jacqui-May before we ease out?
Not really. I think it's so important, you know, when Jackie mentioned like the power of intention and choice and presence, and this is something we really need to practice right now in the world we're living, because there's so much going on out there and so much you know, news and information. So we need to really tune in to find what's right for us. It's very, very paramount, totally paramount.
Yeah.
And dowsing is so helpful when, you know, to has a guidance to confirm what we're feeling. So Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Trusting that inner voice. So I really feel, Jacqui-May, that it's been beautiful having you here because you are, you stand for the trust of that inner voice. I really, really love it. And I think you mentioned that you've put online one of your books.
Yes, the dowsing for health and wellness, how we can use dowsing to actually personalize and improve our health choices, specifically to, what will resonate with us. And yeah, I've just put it up on my website as a free download.
Oh, great. That's so beautiful. Thank you for doing that. And we'll definitely get the word out so that people can tune into that. And, it's word by word, conversation by conversation that we start to weave this community in order to hold those that we're tasked with
Yes,
holding. So
absolutely.
I really appreciate you being here and making the time. Thank you. And I want you to keep writing, please.
And thank you, Kate, and you, Martine, as well. And if I was still
Yeah.
living down near Sydney, I'd be getting along to one of those meetings.
Now we're going to make more a Zoom meeting or try to video the live meeting for people who are away from Sydney so they can attend live also. So
Oh, great.
thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I should make sure you've got my email address so you can let me know about
Yes,
that.
please. Yeah. And what is your website?
Jacqui-Bridge.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
And thank you so much, Kate, for all that you're doing here. It's just, it's beautiful,
It's
and
my
really inspired. And
Mm. I'm so in awe of the knowledge and experience, lifetimes of experience that are held in our community. Like
mhm,
we have a gold mine of healers, and we're all of one mind. Everybody
mhm.
is wanting really strongly to impact on the health of and happiness of their own people, but of humanity in general. So let's just
Yeah,
keep going and see what we come up
let's
with.
keep going.
Some great stuff happening at Soul Advisor. Oh my Lord. But
Yes.
I'll be over
Yeah.
there in Anchor Grace next week and I'll come back with stories.
Oh, great. Well, yeah, again, thank you to you and the whole team at Soul
Thank
Advisor.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Bless you
Okay.
for being with us.
Welcome.